Alright, here is my replacement of my hot water heater. It's a gas hot water heater. It's a 40 gallon. This is my old one. There's the new one. Okay, and as you can see, down in here, there's a lot of soot and whatnot and all kinds of junk in there because it has basically had it. And my carbon monoxide detector is going off, and it's because all this waste and trash down here. I think what's actually happening is when my overflows, this is a temperature release, so when the water gets too hot, this will relieve some pressure in order to not scald you and warp the tank and whatnot. So this is supposed to have a copper tube coming down 6 inches off of the floor, and because it doesn't, as you can see, it sprays all along here. So I think what's happening is it's coming down and it's warping and rusting everything, and it's getting stuck in here since it's riding right down the face of it. Okay, so as you can see, it's not as bad over here, although it's still bad. So this thing's got to go. Okay, so basically some of the tools you're going to need here. You might need a pipe wrench. You might just use a regular, wow, I can't think of the name, but regular wrench. You know, I brought down some extra tools just in case. You're going to need a pipe cutter. I brought 2 sizes down just in case. This is in case I replace or move any ductwork. It has nothing really to do with this project. You're also going to need some soapy water. It's 1 part dish soap and 15 parts water, and this is to check for any leaks. Okay, and then you're also going to need a torch. This one is MAP gas. You know, the propane ones are fine. Probably actually a little better. This gets a little hotter, but that's all I have at the moment. Now this is for gas pipe. This is also Teflon tape for gas pipe. We got them both just in case. You're going to need your flux and your solder in order to solder up the new lines. Okay, for me, I am replacing all my new valves. Okay, all the ball valves and everything. And these these ball valves go on here. Okay, after you take the plug out, and that's just to make it come on and off a lot easier. Okay, then it would be a piece of you're gonna need some copper tubing. Mine is 3/4. You're gonna have to go with whatever yours is. Probably also 3/4. So a little piece of this will be cut and put on the end of this here, and then into the other end here, and you will sweat it on. That way I have a proper way to shut off the water. Now if you already have these, don't worry about them. Okay, mine on here, there is no shut off. This is the hot, and then this is the cold. Now this is the water coming in. Okay, now first thing I'm going to want to do is shut off this valve, because I just realized that I'm trying to drain the water, and it's not going to help. Okay, there we go. Now you probably don't have these type of valves on yours. These are pretty crappy. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, if you do, these are not proper ones, so you really should replace them. As you can see, I'm having trouble shutting it off. I'm going to put the camera down. Okay. Alright, now, okay, like I said, this is not the proper shut-off valve, so I'm replacing it. And what I was doing right now, this one, it seems to like it just keeps going. Okay, because basically what I was doing is I was trying to empty the tank, and it was pretty futile because if water's still coming in, then obviously this tank's never going to empty out. So shut off your water coming in. This is the cold side, this is the hot. It should be the same on yours, but so if you have some kind of crappy valve here, you should replace it. If you don't have to worry about that. Okay, you're going to be unscrewing this, unscrewing this. I have to cut here first in order to unscrew this on both of them. So like I said, I'm creating a way to be able to turn the pipe without cutting. So next time when the valves are on, this can get unscrewed and this can get shut off without having to cut any pipe, and then the next one can be just put in. Okay, so here's where you drain the water. Okay, I put a garden hose on, open it up. Okay, now for me, I don't have a drain in my floor, so I'm draining it right out into the sewer. There's normally a cap here, took it off. Okay, if you have a sump pump or a drain in the floor of your basement, then that'll work fine. Okay, so this valve is open, the water's draining out right now, that valve is shut. Okay, now you turn off the gas. This should actually be done before you drain the tank, because these heating elements can't be working while the tank is empty. Now obviously this is the old one, so who cares, but proper way to do it is shut off the gas first. Okay, right off of the igniter here. Okay, the gas line runs. If you don't have one immediately like I do, just keep following it back until you find the shut off. Alright, mine shut off. There's the nipple. Okay, now let's see if we can mount this camera here for you. Hopefully you can see everything here. Okay. Just bought this thing today, so. Okay, gas line is off. Now, it's not actually the one I wanted to turn, so let's see if this will work here. I just bought this thing today. I thought it'd be a little better, but obviously it doesn't want to grip like I'd like it to. Now, I would say the problem is also because this thing, as you can see, it's it's pretty worn out. All right, that doesn't want to come off, so. Good now. And now I'm taking these off because I'm trying to reuse them, but if you're replacing the pipe, then obviously it won't matter. First, take this gas line off. If you smell a little bit of gas, don't be alarmed, because obviously there's gas in this little bit of piece here, up to here, right off to the valve. But as long as you make sure it's completely shut off, be fine. I know gas is something a little scary, but as long as you make sure it's shut off. And this piece does not want to come off, so let's go check over here and see how we are with our water draining out. I think we're empty here. Okay. As you can hear, it's not filling up. I checked the hose, that is not emptying anymore, so apologize about the camera work, but I have to keep resetting up the camera, and I have to just work with whatever I have. Okay, so now with these pipe cutters, okay, well, actually, you know, before I do that, I want to make sure you have a couple screwdrivers on hand here. There's just some screws here. You know what? Okay. Now, the vent cap here, it already came with a new one. Okay. So, if I unscrew right here, okay, this piece here, I believe that should be copacetic. Now, if you saw my last video, you know I've never done this before, although I did go to school for this. Never actually done this before. And the reason I'm saying is I encourage everybody to get into it. Don't be scared. If you're looking up this video, it means you're thinking about it. Just do it. Okay. Now, when I pop this off, I can actually feel the exhaust air coming off from outside. There we go. No, maybe not. Okay, so pulls that right off. As you can see, hopefully you can see, I hope it's pointed right. You know, this is all rusty and crappy, and you know, see all this is all buildup, which I'm assuming, now this would be your exhaust leaving the house. So I'm assuming this is all the nonsense where all my carbon monoxide is coming from. As you can hear, the alarm right here is not going off right now, but that's because it's vented well, and and this is off, so it's not producing any more fumes. But obviously, if it's putting that crap into there, something's coming out that shouldn't be, because this is gas. I mean, really, it shouldn't even be that dirty. This thing's, yeah, it was already here when I bought the house, but I would assume this thing's 8 to 10 years old. So, I mean, it's definitely had its life. They say about 6 years, but at the same time, I mean, that shouldn't be building up like that. Okay, so now the next thing here is to just take the pipe cutter. Now I'm going to start a little lower down because I want to make sure I have enough room once I take this off. Okay? And all you do is put it where you want it, get it nice snug, not over tight. No, not tight enough, obviously. Get a little in there, a little tight. Give it a turn. No, you know what? I just realized I almost made a big mistake. I would have been very upset. Okay, because I don't have any shutoff valves. Okay, what I actually have to do is I have to come over here. There we go. Now my valve, as you can tell, is pretty shot. I don't know how well you can see that. It's pretty worn out. Alright, as you can see, it goes over the hump. I don't want it to do that. That's not right. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. I'm also going to shut this one off just in case this one did stop where I wanted it to. So no water should actually come past here. I also have a this is a spigot, so I could put a bucket here to make sure that there's no more water in there. That's not what I'm going to do. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come upstairs and I'm going to turn the water on. And when I do that, I'll let the all the excess water out of the pipes. Okay. So as you can see, my water's off. Okay. Now, if I come back down here, actually, okay, and the reason why I just opened that valve back up is so that any water can come down through and go out. There it goes, you hear it? Not much. You hear it going down. Okay, and the reason I did that is so that when I cut into this pipe, I don't have any water,